What's going on, everybody? We are back here again, round 2. This is the morning of our time trial number 2. Hoping to go a little quicker this time. Last time we went 4:51, so I'm hoping to go for sure under 4:50. I think my goal is around maybe 4:45. I think it'll be good progress for 1 month. Still nervous. Like I said, none of that really changes. Almost kind of feels like a deja vu here. So pretty much every workout, every race. Oh, I forgot to set the timer there. My go-to is 2 waffles with honey and a cup of coffee. That kind of does it for me. I mean, the waffles and the honey, easy carbohydrates, break down pretty quickly. Waffles, just Eggo waffles, are they the best carbohydrate to have? Maybe not, but I mean, I've been having it for so many years that it works. I know that I'm not going to have any GI distress. The honey is also a simple sugar that will break down pretty quickly. It is a little chilly today, so I was going to do this race a little bit earlier, but I think it was something like 40 degrees. And so, as much as cold is great for endurance events, I don't like running in too cold for shorter events because unlike a marathon or a half marathon or even 5K, you warm up during some of those runs as well. And so, for something like the mile, I mean, I'll put on more layers for the warm up and everything, but I don't like racing in the cold, too cold. In most track seasons, I don't really have that cold of races. Maybe we'll get some rain, but it's usually not that cold when it rains, especially in SoCal. So I guess the one nice thing about controlling your own races and events, you get to decide when you start and stop and whatnot, or when you start. So about 50 degrees now. So it was 40 this morning when I first woke up, around 7:30, so about an hour ago. It's come up 10 degrees. So hopefully by the time we get to 9:30, it's about 9:30, probably when I'll actually start racing. I'll be warming up around closer to 9. Hopefully by then it'll warm up a little bit more. I don't think it's gonna crack 60 though. I think it was supposed to be a little bit under 60 degrees today. So we'll see how it goes. In temperatures like this, the warm-up will not change. I don't do a longer warm-up because it's cold. Instead, I just change the amount of layers that I wear. Because, again, that warm-up is tried and true for me, so I'm not going to change anything, especially, you never want to change anything race day. Never try anything new. I've made that mistake once. It was cross-country nationals, junior Olympics. I think this was maybe my sophomore year of high school, and we went to Florida, and for some reason, I don't know why, we were in the van and it was pretty chilly. It was raining actually that race, and my dad had mentioned there's food and Go-Gurts in the cooler, and I don't know why I decided to grab a Go-Gurt, and young and dumb, and that was probably one of my worst races ever in Florida. Placed so badly. I threw up 3 or 4 times before the race. I threw up once or twice during the race, and then once the race finished, I didn't throw up anymore, but I did cry. I was so upset with myself. Why did I do that? So stupid. Learned my lesson. Never try anything new on race day. So as the warm-up goes, after the rolling, after the dynamics, generally after the 15-minute run, 15-20 minute warm-up, I'll start peeling off some layers at a time, get into the drills, peel off more layers. I always try to keep at least one, if it's cold, one long sleeve or insulated layer until the very start, or at least as much as I can until the very start. Cold is actually one of my biggest triggers for my asthma. That's the one reason why I don't like running in too cold of weather. All right, we are gonna finish up this breakfast here, and then we'll head out to the track, and we are going to capture time trial number 2. So we'll see y'all in a bit. All right, so we've got a little bit of a good news, bad news situation here. Good news is it's actually a little bit warmer than expected. The bad news, I forgot my inhaler. So we're gonna see how this goes. I don't think it will be too big of a problem. Hopefully once I start warming up, start opening up some of those airways and everything will be fine and dandy. But I'm gonna try not to let that get to me, try not to think about it. Business as usual. We're still out here, we're still putting in the work. I've done workouts before where I've forgotten to take my inhaler, and it's honestly kind of almost been like 50-50, or sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. But I'm hoping for the best here. So still, I don't think I'm gonna modify my goal. I think I'm still gonna go after it. I'm just gonna do whatever I can, and we'll see how this goes. But I am thankful that it is warmer. Not too much warmer, there's still kind of a cool breeze, but not much of a breeze, so that's also nice. We'll see how this goes. Hoping for the best. Track is definitely a lot more crowded this time than last time, that is for damn sure.
On your marks.
Let's go.
.440. 440, man. Thank you. We did it, everybody. Went 440. That's about a 6-second drop from 4 weeks ago. Oh man, that was brutal. I felt it in that third lap. We went 66, 110, 112. I don't even know what that last lap was at. Hold on, I can tell you right now. Oh, another 112. Okay, so we brought it back, or we maintained. I felt gas in that third one. I was hurting, and then about 500 meters to go, I had to go. I was hoping to go 110 again, but that was all I had. I don't think the inhaler was that big a deal. I felt it a little bit in that second lap, and it's like a different kind of discomfort, not like the you're working hard. It was just, damn, you forgot your inhaler, boy. But we got it done. Had some tremendous support from the man, the myth, the legend right here, Mr. James Maturin. Tell the people what you ran today, James.
12:57,
Woo!
which is a 0.23 improvement from 4 weeks ago.
There you go. 0.23 for those of you that don't know in the 100. That's like minutes in the mile. That is, that's moving. So we're out here, we're putting in work. I'm gonna do an extended cool down. We'll probably round out about 25 miles for the week. I was expecting to go 25 this week anyways because of the time trial, but I'm feeling pretty proud, really happy right now.
15 minutes later.
Yeah. Definitely should have brought the inhaler, man.
You already have like a spare in your car?
I usually do, but it ran out, and so I took it out, and then I was gonna put another one. And I have a spare in this bag too, and I thought I had enough, but oh my god. Thankfully, I didn't feel it as much during the race, but as soon as I finished, like 2-3 minutes after, I started just everything feeling like
Damn.
yeah. Oh man, my nose burns. Ooh. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Oops, wrong one. Alright, so official time was 4:40:37. We went 106:72, 110:82, 112:89, 109:92. Oh, so I did bring it down. Why did it? Oh, because when I clicked it on the last one, it said last lap, but I didn't click split. I just stopped it. So the last lap. Okay. So I misspoke. And it's actually an 11-second drop from last week or a month ago. I said 6 seconds because my goal was 4:45.
There you go.
Alrighty, we have wrapped up here. Done with the cool down, done with the static stretching, the rolling, everything. I am feeling pretty beat right now. My chest is quite sore. Like I said, like almost 2-3 minutes after the race, everything, adrenaline kind of started dwindling and everything started settling down, and my chest was locking up and it was not comfortable by any means. But we got it through. I'm gonna go home, probably have some good hearty breakfast. But overall, I'm happy with today's results. I'm actually really happy. Like I said, I was hoping for that 4:45. We came in at 4:40, so better than expected is always nice. And it's hard out here doing it alone, you know? I mean, I think next time the goal is to try and get some more people out here. So if any of you are in the area, I'm gonna be doing these once a month. So the next one, I'll be training through it. So essentially what that means is, like, this week I actually tapered this training week in preparation for today's race. Next month, I'm kind of just training the whole month, and the focus of the next 2 months is strictly just building my fitness. But I'm gonna have a mile trial as part of a workout next month, so end of March. So if you're free last weekend of March and you are interested in joining in, even if it's just to do, maybe you wanna do an 800 or 400, but you wanna run right next to me or something like that, I'm always game for that. So hopefully we can get some more people out here and, you know, put in some work, put in that grind. Definitely in 2 months when we do the official time trial where I'm gonna taper again for the event. I would love to get some company and probably structure it a little bit better, a little bit more organized, but I am super stoked. So we're gonna go home. I think when we get there, we'll talk a little bit more about this Strava giveaway that I promised you all. So I'll fire up the computer. I'll show you exactly what I like to look at, and then talk about this Strava giveaway. All right, we'll see you in just a moment. What's going on, everybody? We are back home, finished up with some breakfast, took a shower, got cleaned up. Chest is feeling a little sore actually right now, so definitely will not be forgetting my inhaler again before a race. It kind of got worse a little bit after even after I left the track, and on the way home, just started coughing a little bit more, and so I got home, took my inhaler, and everything seems to be pretty much okay now. But let's go ahead and talk about Strava. All right, so this is what Strava looks like. I mean, pretty much for those of you that don't know, Strava is kind of just like a social media platform for runners, or really any athletes, bikers, swimmers, joggers, walkers. And the two main things why I really love Strava is, one is the community that comes with it. And then the other thing with Strava that I really love is how it integrates with other platforms and technology. So for example, I use Garmin. All of that information that I collect from my Garmin, and then I generally wear a heart rate monitor with all of my workouts, and all of that just integrates seamlessly into Strava. So whatever I get from there, Strava gets synced up with Garmin, and then I can see it all on Strava. And I generally like the interface a little bit better of Strava than Garmin Connect. Garmin Connect still has some features that I really do like one of the key ones is like the workout breakdown. I can see like what was part of the workout, what was the warm-up, and it actually divides it up, because my coach and I, we use Final Surge to track all of my workouts and whatnot, and so I create the workout on Final Surge, or he gives me the workout, and then I use Final Surge's workout builder that syncs up to my watch, and so Garmin will actually detect, okay, you're 15-minute warm-up, and it'll separate the warm-up from the rest of it, which is kind of cool. And Strava still hasn't done that, but overall I still looking at the analytics in Strava over anything. So some of the things that I do refer to, I mean, I'm right now I'm on the computer. I generally look at this on my phone, but the computer does give a better overview in my opinion. But the calendar is always kind of nice, just kind of see where I'm at, and where I missed out runs or just did not run. So like I said before, I'm right about 4 days per week is kind of what my average is right now in running. I'd like to get that up to about five first, and be consistent with 5 days a week before I add that 6th day. I did do 1 5-day week here that second week of February, but for the most part it's been 4 across the board. I was supposed to run on this Tuesday, and I did not. I would busy bee right here getting in the workout of the day. A lot of that was remnants of this gap right here of just, I was so invested in work this Friday, and it kind of had a trickle down effect on the first few days of this week. But then the other thing with this is the training log. So this will actually give you a breakdown of your miles. I think I showed this in the last video. So started this journey more or less at the beginning of the year. The other thing, so if we're looking at like activities, so this is the pretty cool thing with Strava. So I'll take a breakdown of like this mile trial. The one downside to some of this is like my GPS watch, for some reason on a track, if I'm going the correct direction, which is counterclockwise on a track, it always overestimates my mileage. I don't know why. If I go clockwise, the opposite direction, it hits it like right on the mark. I just don't know why it works one way, not the other. If you all know the reason why, I would love to know. I have yet to figure that out. But anyways, so I did not run a 408 mile. That would be stellar if I did. But that is the goal. We're eventually going to get there, right? It'd be pretty interesting to see what it would say if I break this 4-minute barrier. But so I did run that 440. And this is another downside with Strava, is that Garmin goes to I think the hundredth of a second or thousandth of a second that you can see on straight from the watch, and then I think when it gets uploaded to Garmin Connect, it condenses to hundredth of a second, and then I believe Strava sticks with the hundredth of a second. Let me check. So look at the pace analysis. So they even just go straight to the second. So that's, again, it's a little bit of a trade-off. I can't see exactly what that split is, so I would go to Garmin Connect for that to see what exactly my split was, or just look on my watch. But as you see here, gives a breakdown of what my heart rate was, what my pace was. Ran 106. I didn't cover 0.25 miles, so kind of factoring that in. A 106, that's about a 424 mile pace. Came around 110, which is about where I wanted to go at most. Third lap, we went 112. I was feeling pretty gassed at that point. My chest was really starting to lock up, and with that, then my legs started to lock up, and which is why, you know, you never want to like grimace and, you know, tense up when you run. You want to keep everything relaxed, because it does have a trickle down effect. If you tense up here, starts to tense down in the neck, goes down into the shoulders, and that just keeps a cascade of events. Domino effect goes down into the legs. So I was trying to keep my composure, and when I saw 112, I was just like, crap, we got to move. And so at that point I was like, all right, let's not worry about it, let's just focus on finishing hard. The coolest thing about all of this is there was, I think, 3 people out on the track. I have no idea who they were, but they were actually rooting me on. It was pretty cool. But I rounded out at a 109. It was a high 109, so it was almost a 110, and I felt good. You know, I came around that last stretch, and I was just digging deep as hard as I could. And when I stopped my watch and I looked at the time and it said 4:40, I was just like, holy crap, that was better than I expected. So looking at some of these other things, so this analysis, this pace analysis, only comes with a Strava subscription, and then the relative effect, or excuse me, relative effort. This is kind of cool. So ideally you want to be in like this gray zone as you progress up, and it's a lot of it is just based on what you've been doing prior. So you can see I'm in the red for the most part, because if you look at the weeks prior and even months prior, I wasn't really active. I was going through my own mental health issues and just trying to get back into a good headspace. And so it was right around this month. I was still strength training. I think that was the one thing that I was more or less consistent in, and even then, but overall, that's why I felt confident, you know, doing the mileage that I did these few weeks. But you can see like it's adjusted pretty well. Like the gray part opens up pretty wide up here, because it's getting all of this data and it's seeing that, okay, I'm recovering well, I'm managing the workouts well, so I can handle this load based on my performances. This is the other one that I tend to look at quite often, is the heart rate analysis. But one thing to note with heart rate, it's not an end-all be-all metric. We know that our heart rate is greatly influenced by a multitude of factors. So if you're stressed going into a workout, or if you're tired, or if you had caffeine, automatically your heart rate's going to be inflated. And then you've got things like environmental factors, that if you're going to sweat, you know, I'm loosely using the term cardiovascular drift, right? Part of the cooling mechanism is to sweat. We know that if we lose water, we lose sweat. That's a large part of your blood plasma, or your blood volume. That goes down, and so your heart needs to work overtime, in a sense, to maintain that same cardiac output, which is how much blood is being ejected from the heart to the working muscles. And so knowing this, when I look at heart rate, I also factor in, okay, what was my hydration like? What was the temperature like? What was my stress level? How well did I sleep? And so I'm factoring all of these things in when I look at this heart rate. So for example, if it was like 85 degrees or 80 degrees, hell, even 75 degrees, and you know, everything was shifted up, I know when I look at it, oh, it doesn't mean that I'm out of shape. It just means it was hot that day. And so that's one of the things that you should take into consideration when you look at some of this information. But the other cool thing with the Strava subscription, the GAP, which is grade adjusted pace, this is pretty cool because, as you know, we shouldn't always be running on, or maybe you don't know, but we shouldn't always be running on a flat surface. It's always good to, you know, incorporate some hills. Maybe it's not just a straight run up a mountain, but maybe it's some rolling hills, whether it's for a specific workout, whether it's just an easy run, a long run. But incorporating these changes in grade are always good, because one, you're going to be recruiting different muscle fibers. We know that as we increase the grade, we're going to recruit more of that whole posterior chain of muscles, more glute activation, more hamstrings, more calves. As we have these changes in grade, and even changes in pace, you don't want to just train in one pace. It's sometimes hard to control for, okay, if I ran a flat run, 60 minutes and I covered, 8 miles, that's 730 miles. And then I do a hilly run for 60 minutes, but I only covered, 7.5 miles. I can look at this grade adjusted pace and see, okay, well, based on the hilly run, it may have been slower overall in the pace, but if we were to adjust that for the grade, and let's see how we did on a flat surface, it may actually be faster. And so it's a good way to kind of see that
your fitness is still improving even though you were slower on a given run, but that may be because there's more hills than normal. The other cool thing with Strava is that you can set goals, and this is with that subscription. So I think that's what they just call it now, subscription, and it highlights what you can do. So I like to set some weekly mileage goals. I have not changed this one. This should just be 25 this week. Save it. And then it kind of tells you where you're at in that goal and if how much longer you need to fulfill it. I don't really use the training plans. I've got powered by Macmillan Running. So actually my coach is from Macmillan Running. Johnny Wilson, shout out to you, man. You are the man. But I don't really use these plans. I mean, he kind of does all my workouts. If you recall, I used to be self-coached, and it's just really draining mentally. I know what I need to do, and I know how to plan it. I myself am a coach, and I can structure workouts more or less easy. I've been doing it for so long, but when it comes to yourself, you're your own worst critic, and so sometimes I felt myself overanalyzing how I was supposed to approach a training week or how I felt, and it's just kind of having that balance, and it was just draining. And so I've elicited help. I got two main coaches. I've got my running coach, which is Coach Johnny from Macmillan, and then my strength coach, which is Brandon. Him and the physical therapist that I also work with, Suzanne Hassan. They're based out of La Crescenta, a small gym called a small gym called Potential Energy Strength and Conditioning, and they are great. I mean, they've improved my strength tenfold, I would say. I mean, I wasn't weak, but Brandon would probably say you were weak, but I wasn't so weak coming into it, but I did have a lot of imbalances, and so they are just great with all of that. So the other really cool thing with Strava is you can track your shoes. Generally, most shoes anywhere from 300 to 400 miles that you would want to get them replaced. You can do it by time as well, but I kind of like this. So I think it is under settings, and then my gear. Here it is. So these are all the different shoes that I have. I actually have, you can see Ultra. The one non-Ultra shoes that I have are my hiking boots. But this is pretty cool with Strava, is you can just upload or add a new running shoe, call it whatever you want, and then it tracks the mileage for you, assuming that all you do with those shoes is to run in them, and outside of that you're not, it's not like your daily walking shoe, which if you are trying to get into running or walking or anything like that, you should have a designated workout shoe that you're going to use. I cycle through quite a few shoes, and one of the perks is because I'm an Ultra ambassador, I'm part of that Ultra Red team. I get a pair of free shoes every year, or excuse me, 2 pairs each year, and then I also get some discounts, so it kind of helps with that. But at the very least, I always try to cycle through at least 2 different shoes so that I can wear them out a little bit differently. Plus, each shoe is kind of designed differently. So I have a support shoe, I've got just like a lightweight shoe, I've just got a neutral shoe, and each of these have different supports, so it kind of stimulates the feet a little bit differently. So one day I may not want as much support. I kind of want my feet to take the toll a little bit. And so it's always nice to cycle through these. Not to mention, if you're running daily and you're using the same shoe every single day, by giving your shoes a break in between, you also give the cushion inside a chance to relax and go back to its resting position. And then eventually, over time, it will just kind of pack down, and there's no more of that cushion inside. So that's one cool thing. And then you can also even trigger a a notification. For example, like these Escalante Racer Fire shoes. These are my spikes. You can set a notification, notify me when I have run X amount of miles in this, and I'm actually going to change this to 250. Those are my spikes. They won't last as long. And so I do change this. So again, Ultra, please bring back some spikes. We're running out of miles here. But for example, like these Paradigm, they're pretty good support shoes. So I have extended them out to like 400 miles. That's about when I would want to start getting some new ones. And again, general industry recommendation, 300 to 500 miles to prevent injury. By then, the cushion inside has broken down, and they're not really doing what they're intended to do. This part, you do not need a subscription. You can do all of this without a subscription.
But you can see here subscribers since 2017. So it's been some time. Strava did not endorse me to do any of this or ask me to do any of this. I really love Strava. I love the community that comes with it. I love the analytics that we can see with it. Like I said, I'm a data guy. I'm a bit of a nerd. I like looking at all of this. And now for the main event, I'm going to be gifting a 1-year subscription to Strava to one person. All you need to do is go down into the comments section, tag a friend, and then let me know why you would like to get this subscription. Each comment will act as an entry, and then I'm gonna announce the winner next week. I'll go through, randomly select someone from the comment section, and then from there, I will reach out to you, message you, because I think part of this process is doing it via email on how Strava does the whole gifting of a subscription. That's it for this episode. We got one more run to round out the rest of this training week, and then we're going to enter into that new week again, respecting the process, staying the course, and always, always, always running happy. All right, everybody, till next time. Peace.